I want you, the listener. Yes, I want you, the listener, to press the like button, the subscribe button, but more importantly, comments. Comments that you liked or disliked the topic discussed. What would you like discussed? Because you, the listener, are who is important to me so that I can provide the value that you want and need.
Joel, how busy are you?
Depends on the day.
I bet it doesn't.
Every day's a busy day, you know that.
We're talking about when an owner thinks they're too busy to take care of the details.
That is a common problem in this industry, particularly when a company starts growing.
One of your clients got a real kick in the face.
Yes, they did. They had substantial growth. They were hiring for future needs, putting supervisors in place, extra help in place, and everything was kind of rolling along well because they had a nice, healthy bank account. And then all of a sudden, where's the money? Well, what do you mean, where's the money? We're going through payroll reports, and it's like, well, everything seems legit. Account A is 3 hours a night. The person's getting paid 3 hours a night. And so the supervisor is working this much plus this much overtime. Go, what do you mean overtime? That supervisor's part-time. Well, look at for the last 6 months, your supervisor.
6 months?
Yeah, 6 months. This person was working 40 hours a week.
Okay.
In several weeks.
That's a heck of a part-time job.
Working part-time, overtime, working 40 hours a week, and then some weeks overtime. I go, well, yeah, that's what's in your payroll reports. Well, I haven't had time to look at them. Well, why not? Well, because I'm busy. I got to get new equipment. I have to, get people up and trained. I've got to do this. I got to do that.
So your client is tending to all the things that they know about startups, ongoing work, probably special projects, taking care of all those equipment needs, material needs.
Staffing needs on a daily basis, moving labor around, making sure it's all covered, handling the customer requests and complaints. We've done an episode on all the different hats that we wear. And that's exactly what that was designed to do with that episode, is realize that sometimes you got to offsource some of those hats. But do you have the right person in the right role? That's the next question you have to ask yourself. Who's holding the other people accountable? Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? Is the supervisor filling out their nightly reports? Are they filling out their inspection reports? Are they checking the custodial closets? Are the custodial closets neat and clean? Are they organized? Or are they full of trash? And the supervisor that's supposed to be checking up on the frontline employees, that person should be doing those things, the inspections. But yes, there's systems of checks and balances. There should be somebody checking on the supervisor. And a lot of people with today's technology thinks sending a text message and getting a message back is checking in. When you talk to somebody on the phone, you can learn a lot. Listen for the background noises. If you yourself have been through the businesses, oh, where are you? Oh, I'm at this manufacturing plant. Well, then you should be hearing manufacturing sounds. Even sometimes when you're in the front office, some of these manufacturing places have a certain sound.
Sure.
But when you hear plates and cups clanging and clanking, are they at a restaurant? Are they at their house doing dishes? So you can tell a lot because a text message doesn't tell you where the person is.
Sure.
And you can ask, how are things going tonight? And get a message back, don't worry, all is well.
Those aren't the details I was looking for.
That's what I told this person. You have to get more information. You can't go by that. You are supposed to be peeling that onion. Okay, well, you told me you were going to go to this building tonight. What did you find? That was the first building you were going to go to. You're 2 hours in your shift. You should have already been to that building. What did you find? Well, everything was great. Well, we had a complaint 2 weeks ago. Did you follow up on that area? I asked for a picture. Do we have it? Oh, I don't have it yet. What do you mean yet? You were already there. I wanted to see how it is. Those are the types of questions you need to be asking your supervisors. We've talked on some of the episodes we have that we have worked towards having a software package now that's geared towards our industry. And yes, pictures are great to a point, but you still have to check on things because you can't see all the details in a picture. Are there cobwebs in the corner? Did the person vacuum under a desk? Oh, there's that back hallway that's not used that much, but gee, did they go in and take care of that emergency exit? When's the last time that got vacuumed? Oh, there's cobwebs all over the place. These are the things that we should be checking up on our supervisors, our frontline employees, and everything else. So just because you're busy doesn't necessarily mean that you are doing and placing your time and energy in the right places. On the surface, they look very healthy, but they ran out of money. So then the next thing they have to do is they got to try to get some emergency money by going to a bank and seeing if they can either get an extension on their line of credit, if can they get a bigger line of credit. And then when they start pulling all the different things, and if they see that a company that is robust and going, well, sure, that might happen. But if they see, well, we want the latest data, and they see that the cash is going out quicker than it's coming in, you ain't going to get the money. And these are the cold, hard realities. Owner asks you, what do I do to turn this around? So you got to treat it like a startup business. You're going to have to go out and do the work yourself again.
To ensure that it gets done and it gets done right.
Correct. Well, I can't afford to do that. I got all this other stuff. If you can't afford to do that, you already don't have a business, because how are you going to pay your people next week?
Right.
What are you going to do to protect your company? Do you have another job that's going to fulfill the requirements you need to take care of your home and all of your personal needs? If not, you need to buckle down and make this your priority, and everything else has got to get pushed to the back burner. It's a cold, hard truth. And when a company starts growing, that is one of the issues that can potentially come up, because you are spread and you're thinking about dollars and cents, how many hours to clean, where am I going to get the equipment? I got to order the equipment. I got to make sure that it comes in. I got to get it to point B. All these things are critical. And if you don't have the right people around you, you have to find the right people. There's some companies that'll handle like some of the accounting work for you, where they can do your bookkeeping if that's taking up too much of your time. So you pay something, as they call it, a fractional. Let them handle that. That's not your strength as an owner. You are not a financial whiz necessarily. Maybe you do have a background or an MBA in business finance.
So really, you're going to be so much further ahead.
You are going to be further ahead. You, the owner, needs to be in the field. You, the owner, needs to be talking to the clients. You, the owner, needs to be talking here front line. Because if you don't know what's going on, how can you be an effective leader?
So Joel, we're running long, and I have a question to ask. We're going to tease it here and put the answer in the next episode. You're facing an owner who's already experiencing money trouble, problems with staff, problems with supervision. How do you pose to them that the way out is hiring more staff, hiring more outside help, when they're already in the middle of money trouble? That sounds like a hard conversation.
It's a very hard conversation. And then when you start realizing what they've gone through as a consultant, it's like, ooh, am I going to get paid? Some people may be scared off. And that's why working with the right people, whether it's an outside source, taking care of some things fractionally, these are the key things that need to be addressed.
So join us next week. Thank you, Joel.
You're welcome, Ray.